everybody, I'm Ellie Mae, joined with Kwaku today in 3, 2, 1, here he is. And he is guest hosting for Shannon today. And today, of course, our question, as you can see on the banner, is do you agree with Trump that Russia should be readmitted to the G7? So right now, there's actually a lot of drama going on in that area. But first, I just want to mention, of course, breaking news today, horrible news. Anthony Bourdain, apparently committed suicide. And earlier this week, of course, Kate Spade did. So our hearts go out to their families and friends. I mean, that is just horrible news. And then another headline today, which is very strange. Trump will ask athletes who kneel during the anthem to recommend people who he should pardon. And by strange, I mean I'm just surprised he is moving forward to do something like that. Kwaku, you look puzzled. I just saw this headline, so I had to share it. Pretty weird, right?
Actually, it's President Trump, so don't expect what you're expecting. This whole thing is curveballs, right? So
yeah, exactly. Well, moving on to our topic. Of course, I said there's so much drama going on right now, but the G7, of course, is made up of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the UK and the US. It's basically the most advanced economies in the world together discussing things going from economic governance, international security, energy policy, a lot to do with climate change and things like that. But Trump, of course, had to shake things up. He was saying that Trudeau and Macron were imposing massive economic pressures on the U.S., and there have been kind of Twitter wars between our world leaders, which is just hilarious. Macron was suggesting they will have a 6-country agreement instead of a 7-country. So they're arguing about tariffs. Trump is saying Canada charges the U.S. up to 300% on dairy. But now they are all together, and it seems like it's going well. Macron has been tweeting updates of them casually talking on the couch and at the table. But this whole Russia thing, right? Like crazy. Kwaku, what do you think? Should Russia be readmitted?
No. But I think it's oh, that's a great picture of Putin.
Yeah, I know.
The question I have is this really appropriate behavior with our world leaders? Not even just President Trump, but like, should we be putting dirty laundry and things like this on Twitter? Can't you just disagree about world policies, as are prone to happen if you're a leader, in private?
Yeah.
Does everything need to be broadcast? I don't want to know this. I'm just sort of tired of this sort of like mentality.
Yeah.
Like, it out and then shut up and pass some laws. Like, that's kind of what I want to see.
Right. So we can look at a few tweets really quick. Sorry I hope you're not still talking. It got a little glitchy for a second, so I really hope I'm not interrupting. Okay. Trump tweeted a few things, but in more recent tweets, just now within the last few hours, Macron, France's prime minister, right? Okay, you can't read the top of it, but we can probably make it work. Anyway, moments before the second working session. So that's Trump and the whole group there. It looks like they're being cordial, at least. Here's Macron and Trump talking on the couch. Sorry you can't see the top of it. But that's kind of good that they seem to be getting along, I guess, for now. But yeah, I think, so my question for you, I guess, is suggesting that Russia should be back in the G7. Do liberals sort of view that as evidence of maybe collusion because he's slowly, trying to get Russia back involved in things? Is it like this is him paying back Putin or something? Is that what liberals think?
Probably not. I think we already we know there's collusion. We're not really this isn't the thing that's doing it. In fact, I think most Democrats have sort of already just assumed, of course, Russia colluded with the Trump campaign.
Interesting.
that, and this is just now par for the course. It's not. I don't see anyone on the left going, look, see, I told you so. The told you so's were already done 6 months ago. Now it's just, well, of course.
Really, because Shannon doesn't think that there was collusion, so I think there might be some various opinions on that. And Shannon, of course, is liberal, but I don't know. It's just, I mean, that's if I was you, a liberal, I would think, oh, this might be evidence, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not a liberal, so I can't think that way.
But even so, I think the foundation of Trumpness is that it doesn't matter anymore if you have evidence of something. It doesn't matter if something is clear as day. The man is president. He is a genius social media manipulator. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get people on his side. He knows how to get his thoughts into people's mouths. It doesn't matter if there's evidence. Evidence has not stopped him from doing anything. Anything at all. So at this point, I feel like at least a lot of the Democrats I know are just like, all right, whatever. Like, okay.
Moving on, like, what else can we, try and, yeah.
It's kind of wacky, but it's not the end of the world. Like, I just think, whatever.
I totally get that. So I guess he skipped the climate portion of the G7 discussions, but he had an aide fill in for him. So I'm sure that is making the left's blood boil, because obviously climate change is a issue near and dear to most of the left's heart. And so, I mean, he did have an aide fill in, but it's kind of weird when the drama trickles into things like that, because basically he skipped it because of the Twitter drama with Macron and Trudeau. So, I mean, is that upsetting to the left, do you think?
I hope I'm not beating a dead horse. I think at one point it may have been upsetting. Mm-hmm. But like I said, since this is just sort of the pattern in which President Trump operates, it's only upsetting when it's surprising or when it's new, right? You see something and you're like, oh, but this is just kind of how he is. So I'm not upset about it. I'm just kind of like, all right, that seems to be. And I think that at least the majority of the left I know, and again, Shannon is she's in the Bay Area, and I'm in Utah. So these are two still very different kind of Democrats, right?
True.
Yeah. So I mean, there was an aide. It would have been irresponsible if no one showed up. At least that didn't happen, right? He did send it, and perhaps this aide will relay the information to him in a way that will be beneficial to us. So I'm not gonna be too upset, but I have a question for you. Do you think that he didn't show up to that because of the beef with Trudeau and Macron?
Honestly, I don't know. Are you suggesting maybe he didn't show up because he didn't want to address the climate change debate, maybe? Because I can see him doing that and maybe using this as an excuse, because right now he, I don't think he wants to start up a whole nother thing with that when he's got North Korea coming up. And this whole G7, the discussions around this are pretty important, and I think he might be on the fence about climate change himself, and so like more than his conservative base would like to admit, I think. And so I don't think he wants to make any of his supporters mad, or in maybe the other way, he doesn't believe in it at all, and he doesn't want to make any more of the left mad. He's probably just wanting to stay out of that part for now. For now, we'll see it come back up, and I'm sure he'll run towards it like a bull in a china shop. But I think he might have dipped out on that.
Does this worry, like as a patriot, as someone who loves America, does this worry you? Just the way other leaders are seeing our country and are seeing our leader, because we do want them to be friends. We do want Angela Merkel and President Trump and Macron and Trudeau. We would like them to get along.
Yeah.
And I'm not there, but I'm just going to go out on a whim and say they're maybe not sitting at the lunch table together in high school. Like they're maybe not the best of friends.
Right, and I think it's important to obviously respect your allies. If you have disagreements, I think, like you were saying, maybe discuss them in private. I'm not in Trump's head. I don't know why he Twitter is part of his strategy, but it obviously is. It makes headlines, and I think he uses that to his advantage. But I think it's important to respect our allies. But if you have a disagreement, if you are upset about them charging, let's say, 300% on dairy, that you can, make that disagreement known to them and try to get a change. You don't have to, just go along with the status quo in order to be friends. But so if he wants a change, I kind of disagree with how he's doing it. But I don't disagree with him trying to make a change with making things more fair in his eyes or whatever. I think that it's okay to go to your allies and say, look, this isn't right. Let's, fix this. And every president has done that. And it makes people mad. It ruffles feathers. But sometimes, that's going to happen. We're talking about world leaders here, especially the G7. They're basically the most powerful world leaders in the world. And so it's got to be a difficult dynamic with all of them sitting there. But yeah, I totally think it's important to be on good terms with your allies. Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't, right?
Well, hopefully we can be.
Yeah.
Just the past few years, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, conservatives would say that under Democrat presidents that, there's always something that you find like, oh, this is going to make this country mad. This is going to make this country mad. So we've gone down this road. I know Trump is a lot louder and uses Twitter to go down this road. But I think even what you said earlier, like, it's not even, what was it, Macron who was responding to him on Twitter? It's just like, oh gosh, now we're all getting on Twitter and having like a heated debate, which is a little weird, to be honest. But let's just really quick get to some comments because they are coming in so many right now. Where was that one? Someone said, okay, first of all, Scott says, no, he shows his ignorance about the world regarding our question about Putin. Scott is one of our favorite commenters, by the way, Kwaku. Let's see. Clarice says, absolutely not. They already meddled in our election. Chuck says Russia should not be because Trump is in bed with them and would not want those two teaming up. So a lot of liberals commenting. I'm just assuming. Jesse says, anyone who thinks Russia should be admitted into G7 should move to Russia. Yeah, that's funny. There was one up here that said, keep your enemies close. I don't know where that went, but that's an interesting point. I would say that's not always going to work on the world stage because some of our enemies are terrifying and I don't want to keep them close. I want to keep them very far away.
Yeah, that's a bit of a. I like the sentiment, but that seems like kind of an irresponsible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of enemies, how do you feel about the North Korea summit? Do you think that is going to be productive at all?
Okay, so I have two contradictory thoughts, and as an American, it's totally fine if I have them. The first one is that I actually think President Trump is the right person to be dealing with Kim Jong-un. And before my fellow liberals lose their minds and cast me out, because they are both authoritarians.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, Trump is nowhere at the level of Kim Jong-un. He's not a murderous, horrible. But I think that they can come from this, there may be a level of respect there because they both are in your face. This is what I think. They don't really care what they say. Un convinces people that he speaks to dolphins. You know what I mean? They're both people who care a lot about having power, and people have compared them. Americans are the only ones who compare Trump and Kim Jong-un. All over the world, people have been like, it's kind of funny how similar they are. Although one is far more extreme, the other is, our president.
Good for making that clarification.
No, they're not the same level. So perhaps he's the one to do it. But my other thought, which is contradictory, is that Kim Jong-un is unhinged. He's a sociopath. It's almost Sunday. I know I shouldn't be making judgments, but I am. Okay, and Kim Jong-un is not a safe person. He's not a leader we enjoy, and the fear is that President Trump is unhinged as well, and he really doesn't like being disrespected. And we want him to be extra careful. We don't want any of the normal Trump drama to come along with this, because this is a country that wants to kill us all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I honestly really, really hope that human rights will be on the table, and we will talk about that in Singapore. What is it, in a couple days, right? On the 10th, is it? I don't know. But yeah, because that to me is one of the most important issues of our time right now, is the human rights violations going on in North Korea that we all kind of know about, but don't really do anything about it. And it's going around all over the world. But with North Korea, it's just a bizarre case where, you know, they're on their way to getting a nuke, and at the same time they are hurting their people, and it's horrible. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, if Donald Trump makes some peace with North Korea, he's going to be reelected. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
If he does well, he will be reelected. For one, because it's an amazing thing if he gets to go well. Two, I've seen the dais of who the Democrats want to run. None of them are going to beat Donald Trump, I don't think. So I actually believe this is the telling point right here. If something good happens, if North Korea backs down, or there's some peace made, President Trump is going to be reelected.
Would you be able to give him any credit for that? I mean, it sounds like you would be able to. Like, I've asked, you know, well, not even asked Shannon. Shannon's just come forth and been like, that would be amazing. I'd be really happy about that. Would you feel the same way? Or, I mean, it's okay to still not trust Trump, but at least credit where credit is due.
Yeah, of course. If I think hopefully everyone would be able to give kudos to that and say, okay, that's very impressive that you got that to happen. It doesn't mean you have to like everything President Trump has done. And I don't hate President Trump either. He isn't doing a bad job. I just think the snowball effect of some of his words and statements have created a lot of social problems, and have sort of given some ammunition to crazy groups. But as a president, he's not doing a terrible job. I just don't like the man as a person, but as president, I mean, it could be a lot worse. We're not in terrible shape.
Yeah, and it's funny. A lot of politicians, I don't think we'd like as a person. Donald Trump just wears his flaws on his sleeve a little bit more, I think. But yeah, it takes a certain kind of person to run for office, and I don't know how much we get along with many of them. But do you have any final thoughts on Russia and our topic? I know we kind of went to North Korea, which is very important, but any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I know this sounds kind of bizarre. I actually have more faith, for some reason, that it's going to go well with North Korea than Russia. I actually think that. Part of me, because I don't think North Korea really knows what they're doing. I mean, Kim Jong-un is not. I don't think he's a very smart man. He wants a powerful nation, but you can't have a powerful nation if so many people are impoverished the way they are.
Yes.
I don't think North Korea is actually going to end up being a huge threat. I think Russia is still going to be the big threat. I think Romney was right about that. I think Reagan knew what he was talking about that. So people think it's like, oh, North Korea is a bad guy, then Russia and America are going to become buddies. No, I don't. Vladimir Putin is a lot more sinister than that. Kim Jong-un doesn't really know what's going on. That's my prediction. And I hope in a year I'm back on this show and I can be like, hey, I was right about everything I said.
Yeah. Well, I like your predictions because they seem well thought out. That is about it for us today. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. We hope you have a great weekend. I'm sure Kwaku will join us maybe even next week. Again, we'll see. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, Kwaku. Thank you so much for guest hosting today. And we will see you all on Monday.